Hey folks, Richard here again. Plug for my blog, Facts for Working People, the URL weknowwhatsup.blogspot.com. And I wanted to comment a little bit about political parties. I don't normally watch CNN or the mainstream news like that, but I was watching a little bit today, and it was a news show, and they had pundits on. They were two Democratic strategists. Well, they're CNN strategists or pundits, both Democratic Party oriented or Democratic Party pundits, I think they were, for CNN. I can't remember their names. It didn't really matter. One was an Irish American. I remember that, Sean something Murphy or whatever. But anyway, and I was listening to him, and the whole talk was about the craziness of Trump and how he's out of touch, and his tweets, and how his whole way of comments he makes. He's cutting himself off from the MAGA, from his base. He's talking about insulting his own people. He doesn't, affordability is nothing. I don't care about all of this stuff. The man, he then talked about a little bit about the future, the elections. It's an election year. He shouldn't be talking like that. It's crazy. It's election year. And the Democratic guy talked about the Democratic Party needs to find a way to solve these, to get into this, to solve the medical care. It's to solve the crisis that is facing the American working class and middle class today. But he didn't say anything. They need to find a way. I have to say, I've written and spoken for the longest time about the opportunities in this country for an alternative to the Democratic Party, for a movement to be built. Whether it's in the trade union movement, outside the trade union movement, the Labour leaders have ensured that every opportunity that knocked on the door, that the door remains shut. The Democratic Party, talking about what they can do and what they can't do. Part of the discussion here was about this war. This war, they pointed out, the vast majority of Americans want out of it. They don't want anything to do with it. They're hurting. There's the inflation. There's this, that, and the other. There's trying to make ends meet. Well, then it would seem to me, if I were a Democrat, or the Democrats were worth anything, on CNN there they would have said, we should, if we take control of the House of Representatives, if we take control of Congress, day one, we will ensure that we stop and withdraw from this war. This war is not in our interests. It should be all over for the Democrats, all over the place. This is a major issue, the war. Universal health care is a major issue. It's what we want this. Transportation, education, these are all major issues that people want. But there's none of that. It's all speaking without putting anything forward. And the reason they can't do that, like the question of the war, is it's a war party. Its foreign policy is no different to the Republicans. Look at Biden. He was the laid waste to Gaza. Him and Harris boasting about being Zionists and everything else. So they can't put anything forward. The same as the trade union leaders. It's not so much that they're corrupt. Obviously, there's corruption, but they can't put forward anything that challenges capitalism and they can't put forward what workers and the middle class need, because to do so it undermines capital and profit. It will offend the big business, just like Mamdani has offended the real estate moguls in New York, just as Bernie does, just as Ilhan Omar does, just others do. They'll come up against the two parties of capital that will defend the interests of capital. The same billionaires that looked up at Trump during the inauguration will be there for a Democratic prime minister if they get the power. And if you look at elections in this country, what happens? I mean, the point I'm trying to make is there's an opportunity in this country, or actually in many countries. There's been a cry out for a change, a thirst for change. There's a desire for all of these things. and no one taps into it. Trump tapped into it. They tap into it with rhetoric, but there's no concrete putting forward it. That we're going to win this, we're going to take this, we're going to have this. Imagine if the Democrats were campaigning, if it was a party worth anything, we're campaigning to end this war day one in November. We'll shut it down day one. No more money spent on it. Universal health care. And we'll make we'll make the rich pay for it. No taxes on workers in the middle class, small community businesses and stuff like that. You know, but that's what they're afraid of. If you look at elections in this country, you look at the map, and then you got the red states here and the blue states here, and the Democrats have this one and the Republicans have this one, and then they fight over two or three states. They're not going to appeal to the 100 million that don't vote. The Democrats aren't going to appeal to them because they got nothing for them. So they want to just try to sneak through. Let's get back into power. We'll govern. We can plunder society for a while. So it never changes. It's not because there's so much they're corrupt. The demands of the working class impinge on the rights of capital and profit. And most workers, when it comes to the bread and butter, will not care about that. They will not care about that, and they know it. They're scared of the working class in this country, and this is why. But what happens? Like I say, 100 million don't vote, right? And so what happens when the so-called Party of Labour, which is what Plattner called the Democratic Party, and it's not. This is the weakness in Graham Plattner. He doesn't offer anything different other than the Democratic Party and making that the Party of Labour. It's not going to happen. That's another issue. But so consequently, what do people do? They'll vote for the Conservative. It's a friend, a relative of mine in England just said to me something today. You know, when the Labour Party is to the right of the Conservative Party and cuts into workers' living standards and attacks the working class, you're better off. People fall prey to the right wingers and to the authoritarian. We'll sort this out. You know. But I mean, it's just insane to look at it. I mean, look at what we want, everything we want. But they can't, they daren't tap into that. They daren't tap into that because they are capitalist parties and they will not do that. It will take a mass movement to move that, and we need a political party of our own. That's crucial. I was just thinking as I was watching CNN and watching this Democrat talk, and I thought, yeah. The reason they lost the last time is just the obsession with identity politics. I had a Latino guy that voted for Trump. You know, he said to me, I said, no, Harris. No, she thinks she can bring out Megan Thee Stallion and twerk, and I'm going to vote for her. You know, the whole identity politics and celebrities for the Democratic Party. They got nothing else to offer. All right. That's what I felt like saying. I wanted to go live, but I've had, in my second tryout, I got this guy that comes on and I get the image on my screen in front of me, and I can't, he's yapping away in Spanish. I don't speak it, and I don't know how to shut him out. Anybody can give me advice on that, I'd appreciate it. Take it easy. Keep fighting.